The Story of Discovery of America. A Life at Sea. Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, Italy. He was a son of a weaver, but his heart belonged to the sea. From a young age, he sailed the Mediterranean, learning the trade of navigation and becoming a skilled mariner. He learned to read maps, charts, and celestial navigation, developing a deep understanding of the stars and their role in guiding ships. He traveled to many places, including Portugal, where he heard tales of explorers reaching far-off lands. He was particularly intrigued by the stories of Prince Henry the Navigator, who had sponsored expeditions down the west coast of Africa in search of a route to Asia. A dream of spices and gold. At that time, Europe was hungry for spices and other goods from Asia. The only way to reach these lands was by traveling a long and dangerous route across the eastern Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean. This route was controlled by the Ottoman Empire, which made it difficult and expensive for European traders to access the riches of the East. Columbus believed there was a faster and more direct way, by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean. He was convinced that the earth was round and that he could reach the east by sailing west. A visionary, but not everyone believed. Many people, even learned scholars, thought Columbus was crazy. They believed the world was flat and that the ocean was too vast to cross. They pointed to the lack of evidence of any land to the west and argued that the journey would be too long and dangerous. But Columbus was determined. He spent years studying maps and charts, calculating distances and plotting his course. He consulted with astronomers and geographers, seeking to prove his theory. He studied the writings of ancient Greek philosophers, who had theorized about the Earth's spherical shape. He also examined the accounts of sailors who had reported seeing strange birds and floating debris in the Atlantic, suggesting the presence of land beyond the horizon. A royal patron. Finally, Columbus found support in Spain. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, rulers of a powerful and ambitious kingdom, were interested in his ideas. They saw the potential for new lands, riches, and the spread of Christianity. They were also eager to challenge the Portuguese, who had been dominating the trade routes to the east. In 1492, after years of seeking funding and support, they agreed to fund Columbus's expedition. They provided him with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. These were small, sturdy ships, well suited for long voyages and capable of navigating rough seas. Setting sail for the unknown. On August 3, 1492, Columbus and his crew of about 90 men set sail from Palos de la Frontera in Spain. They were filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The journey was long and arduous. The crew faced storms, strong winds, and vast stretches of open ocean. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The men grew weary, their food ran low, and some began to question Columbus's sanity. They faced challenges like scurvy, a disease caused by vitamin C deficiency, which weakened their bodies and made them susceptible to illness. Columbus, however, remained steadfast in his belief that they were on the right path. He used his knowledge of navigation to guide the ships, relying on the stars, the currents, and the compass to keep them on course. The Land of Promise. After 70 days at sea, on October 12, 1492, a sailor named Rodrigo de Triana spotted land. He shouted, "Land! Land!" The crew erupted in cheers. They had reached an island in the Bahamas, which Columbus named San Salvador. He believed he had reached the East Indies, a group of islands in Asia, and called the native people he encountered Indians. He was convinced that he had found a new route to the east, and that he had discovered a vast new world full of riches. First encounters with the Taino. The Taino people, who lived on the island, were peaceful and welcoming. They greeted Columbus with gifts of food and hospitality. They were skilled farmers, artisans, and fishermen, and they lived in harmony with their environment. They were also deeply spiritual people, with a rich oral tradition and a complex social structure. Columbus, however, saw them as potential subjects for Spain and a source of wealth. He claimed the island for the Spanish crown, naming it San Salvador. He also established a small settlement on the island, leaving some of his crew behind while he continued exploring. Exploring the Caribbean, Columbus continued his journey, exploring other islands in the Caribbean. He landed in Cuba, which he believed was a part of Asia, and Hispaniola, now Haiti and the Dominican Republic. He encountered other indigenous groups, including the Arawak and the Carib. He established more settlements and claimed these lands for Spain. He was convinced that he had found a new route to Asia, and that he had discovered a vast new world full of riches. He collected samples of plants, animals, and minerals, hoping to find gold, spices, and other valuable resources. He also documented the native peoples he encountered, their customs, and their way of life. Returned to Spain, a hero's welcome. After nearly a year, Columbus returned to Spain in 1493. He brought back gold, spices, and stories of the new lands he had found. He was greeted as a hero. The king and queen were delighted with his discoveries and rewarded him with titles and honors. They granted him the title of Admiral of the Ocean Sea and appointed him Viceroy of the Indies. Columbus's voyages had a profound impact on Spain and Europe. They sparked a wave of exploration and colonization, leading to the establishment of vast empires in the Americas. They also led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and people between Europe and the Americas, known as the Columbian Exchange. More voyages, more discoveries. Columbus made 3 more voyages to the New World. He explored the coast of South America, discovered new islands, and established more settlements. He continued to search for a route to Asia, but he never found it. He faced many challenges on his voyages, including mutiny among his crew, conflict with the native peoples, and accusations of cruelty and mismanagement. He was also criticized for his belief that the native peoples were inferior to Europeans and that they should be subjected to Spanish rule. A legacy of controversy. Columbus's voyages had a profound impact on the world. They opened the door for European exploration and colonization of the Americas. However, they also led to the exploitation and destruction of indigenous cultures. The Taino and other native people suffered from diseases brought by the Europeans, lost their lands, and were forced into slavery. They were also subjected to harsh treatment and exploitation by the Spanish colonists. A complex legacy. Today, Christopher Columbus is a figure of controversy. Some see him as a brave explorer who opened up new horizons. Others see him as a symbol of colonialism and oppression. His legacy is complex and contested, a reminder of the impact of European expansion on the world. The lasting impact. Columbus's voyages were a turning point in history. They led to the exchange of goods, ideas, and people between Europe and the Americas, known as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange had both positive and negative consequences. It introduced new crops and animals to both continents, but it also led to the spread of diseases and the displacement of indigenous populations. It also led to the rise of European empires and the transformation of the Americas. His legacy is a reminder of the complex and often tragic consequences of human ambition and the impact of cultural encounters.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video,
Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our future content. See you in the next video.